And now it's time for Radio Law Talk, brought to you on radiolawtalk.com and on your favorite radio station. And with a dead computer, here's your host, Fred Penny, attorney at law, along with Denise Dirks. And as soon as I can get the open to work, I'll play the open.
Oh, we don't need an open. We've got Denise and I. Speaking of openings, we have not said any disparaging things in hour one about Rodriguez or Todd Cunin. So is there anything you could think of, Denise, that we could say that's disparaging about the two young men that decided not to show up today?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's time to take aim at Todd Cunin. Isn't that his line always? He's taking aim at somebody?
No, I think Todd's is, if you pay my fee, I'll take your case. And Todd said, okay, just by the way, those of you who are listening out there, and if a state bar is listening, it's just a joke. Joke. Todd will not take a case unless it's a good case or it's got something going. So anyway, long story short, hey, you know what? Speaking of disparaging Rodriguez and Todd, we're going to have a case or no case. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the California Supreme Court brings down a ruling about Yelp. And this is really, really important. Now, you got your music bat, huh, Cal?
Yeah, we also have we're going to have a caller here in a little bit. But in the meantime, go ahead and talk about this.
So this is what's interesting. Okay, so a person makes a disparaging remark about their attorney, puts it up on Yelp. All right, so this is the facts. I'm not going to bring names up, and this is based out of San Francisco. And so what happens is the attorney, first of all, responds to that, which Denise and I have talked during the break. Those of you who don't know this or understand this, it's a little bit unfair to lawyers. And I know you say, oh, who cares about the lawyers? A restaurant can come back and say, oh, no, X, Y, Z, or this is the situation.
Or you pulled the hair out at the last bite.
Yeah, or you know what, you didn't order the right thing and we fixed it for you. Whatever. But as an attorney, you got to be very careful in what you say in responding to Yelp or Google reviews or any type of reviews, because there's attorney-client privilege and there's certain ethical rules. You can't really say much other than, I'm sorry, give me a call, or hey, let's see if we can work this out, or just something very basic.
Yeah, the difference is once you're in a lawsuit with a client, doesn't matter who files the suit, then the attorney-client privilege is not intact any longer. But if you do it prior to a suit, like in responding to a Yelp review, that could cause potential problems with the state bar.
Yeah, and so you have to be very good. You told me about a story one time that you heard of someone else. Tell me about that.
Well, there was an opposing party that was making comments and doing bad reviews in a lot of different social media sites, and there was no way to respond to that except that you're not my client.
Yeah.
You're not, or whatever they said, you're not the person involved. You challenge it through the social media site saying that's not a client, that's not correct. And, as a last resort, this person got consent from their client to say, in essence, to that opposing side, hey, you're the one that's the deadbeat dad, if you will, and you're the one that has to pay $2,000 in attorney fees, correct? Right. And that way it shut him up right away. But that could not have been said but for the consent from the client.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, we got a caller that wants to. We're going to back up and talk about the Wells Fargo case that, by the way, neither Denise and I do specialize in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering if what that jeweler if what they're doing seems to be illegal. I was under the impression that you can't charge a different amount for cash than for credit card. And I'm wondering how gas stations get away with it if what the jeweler in Wells Fargo seem to be illegal.
Yeah, that's a great question. And by the way, that's a Rodriguez question that's not here. But I don't know. But that brings up a big issue is, yeah, they're doing it. There's a lot of places you go to, cash is different than a credit card. And by the way, the donuts we just bought and I brought in on purpose, which I tweeted out because I didn't want Rodriguez or Cunin having them, they charged us 50 cents more because we used our credit card.
Everything is. Okay, with your agreement as a person who uses the credit card, the merchant that uses the credit card.
The retailer, the
seller, right. Your agreement is that you cannot pass the fees, the merchant fees, on to the customer. that's your agreement. But this seems to be doing exactly that.
I was going to say they do it all the time.
But here's the difference.
It's only like a 50 cent. It's not the actual merchant fee.
Because it is, and Fred, it's 4%, 3%, depends on the credit card. I just wanted to make that point.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. This lawsuit says that Wells Fargo is encouraging the retailers to charge these hidden fees. So if the retailers are doing it on their own, say I'm going to charge you an extra 50 cents, that's okay. But they're claiming Wells Fargo is kind of forcing them to charge these hidden fees that they don't want to charge.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
But they're using Wells Fargo as the lender, so it's not like they have choices out there.
Again, these are allegations, and the point that the caller made is a good point. They just filed a lawsuit. People have to understand, just because a lawsuit's filed doesn't mean they're going to win or it's true.
Not resolved yet.
Yeah. So all we're saying is the lawsuit's been filed. They're going to try to get it in a class action. So that was a great point that the caller brought up.
Maybe after we see the result of this, we'll have a better way to answer your question.
Thanks, caller. Appreciate it.
That was awesome. But back to the Yelp thing. So what happened is this attorney gets a disparaging Yelp review. Sues. Okay, so the attorney knows generally that Yelp is going to be very difficult to sue. Number one, they've got money. Secondly, they're protected by the Federal Communications Decency Act, which is a law that basically
gives them immunity.
And a lot of the online internet service providers immunity. So what does this law firm do? Is they sue the individual for defamation without suing Yelp. Okay, so here's what's interesting. So if you read this and have heard about it, all you know is Yelp won. But here's the tidbit: the court held, and I'm going to tell you why this is important. The court held that Yelp has the absolute right, and by the way, the lawsuit was not against Yelp, but Yelp was able to step in and appeal the loss because the individual lost the case. Denise, why did she lose the case?
Because she didn't ever appear in the case and fight it.
She didn't defend
answer.
And
she claims she was not served. So this is kind of an interesting thing because in the trial court said that Yelp had to take it down. And also said that the defendant did commit defamation. So then when it was appealed, then
Yelp jumps in.
Yeah, Yelp jumps in, appeals it, and the appellate court says, yes, absolutely, Yelp should have been served because it wasn't really given due process, and now it's being ordered to do something that it really had no due process on. So they allowed for Yelp to jump in on appeal. Very, very, very different kind of procedure here, guys.
Right, and then it goes to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court of the state of California holds that under the Communications Decency Act, and by the way, this is a 4-3 ruling. Why is that important? That's important because it's dang close. And California, generally speaking, again, I'm being very general, is a more liberal court. And so the fact that it was a 4-3 is getting close to switching over to where Yelp can't allow these type of, quote, defamatory comments about individuals on their Yelp. And so, but anyway, what they...
And one decision,
yeah, sure.
The Supreme Court justice in this case, Cantil, oh gosh, I have a hard time with her last name.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
One of the Supreme Court justices.
I've met her. She's super, super great. But two justices didn't actually sign on to her opinion, but they did a concurring opinion.
Right.
So 2 of the 4 were already... in agreement with her, but they didn't
fully agree.
So it's kind of an interesting decision.
But what's interesting about this is, so the Supreme Court holds that Yelp does not have to listen to this law firm, and basically can put this up, but the lady has to take it down. So they held that Yelp doesn't have to take it down, but they held it's defamation, and the individual has to take it down. Now, you think, oh my gosh, there goes our civil liberties, and there goes freedom of speech. But guess what? Here's the
It was
kicker.
a default judgment.
It was a default judgment. She never answered the complaint, and therefore it's an automatic win. So the court's going, well, and this is by a technicality. They win, that is, the law firm wins, and she's got to take it down. And by the way, I checked it yesterday, it's still up. And Yelp doesn't have to take it down, but technically, according to the Supreme Court, the way they laid it out, she has to take down the defamatory stuff.
Especially if the trial court ruled that there was jurisdiction over her and she was properly served. If that had been addressed at the trial court level, it's binding on her.
Yeah,
All
interesting.
advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk are for California legal services only.
Jason Rosbach here with Fred Penny, managing attorney from Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Now, Fred, what type of cases are you dealing with now, and what sets you apart?
Jason, we help people with all types of personal injury cases. We're former insurance company trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or give them a call, 1-800-616-4LAW. That's PENNEY lawyers.com.
This is Denise Sturks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help. Business needs growth to survive, and Accelerate You is in the business of growing your business. Accelerate You gets it. They have sales professionals, real top talent teams. Accelerate You has venture capitalists, and Accelerate You has strategic partners who roll up their sleeves and help you grow your business. It's what they do. They help people in business just like you. In fact, last year, Accelerate You launched 30 successful go-to markets for startup companies. With success like that, you can see why Accelerate You is able to only work with a select group of companies, perhaps yours. If you want to increase revenue for your business, call 916-BETTER-0. That's 916-237-7370. 916-BETTER-0. Come on, grab the phone. Make the call. Accelerate You. 916-BETTER-0. Again, call 916-BETTER-0 for Accelerate You.
I'm going to Quick Quack Car Wash. Get my car washed, make it quick, quack, pretty, shiny, sexy, just because I want to. Don't drive dirty. Going to get my car suds in the Quick Quack Car Wash. It's the Quick Quack, quickest and the cleanest by far. We're talking 3 skinny minutes sitting right in your car wash. 100 feet of cloth, washing your car at the Quick Quack Car Wash. Any Honda, Mazda, Ford, or Chevy, Sauber, Cadillac, Quick Quack will spruce her up just like that. You'll be happy looking snappy. You'll be glad you was at the Quick Quack Car Wash. Get on the web and go to don'tdrivedirty.com and see where you got your closest Quick Quack in the local area. Get in your car, get in your truck, get on the road and come visit the duck at the
Quick Quack Car Wash, where your car will always leave happy, guaranteed. They take pride in being clean and green by conserving and recycling the water they use, only at the
Quick Quack Car Wash. Quick Quack.
My name is Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I assembled an excellent team of highly experienced personal injury trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. At Penny & Associates, we will aggressively represent you and your family when someone has been injured in an accident. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
For a free initial consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or call 1-800-616-4LAW and ask for Frederick, Stuart, Rob, Kevin, Kent, or Will. That's Frederick Penny at Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers, 1-800-616-4LAW.
What makes great jerky? Jerky that's moist, tender, and perfectly seasoned. And if you're looking for moist, tender, flavorful jerky, don't look anywhere else but River City Jerky Works. Only the finest ingredients and top quality meats are used in the preparation of River City Jerky. Do yourself a favor and order your River City Jerky Works jerky by going to their website, rivercityjerkyworks.com. River City Jerky Works. One bite and you'll be hooked. Quite possibly the best jerky on the planet. The attorneys you hear on the panel at RadioLawTalk.com are all licensed to practice law in California. But if you want a lawyer, no matter where you're listening, you can check our website, RadioLawTalk.com. There's a button there that says Talk to a Lawyer. Press it. It's that easy. And of course, we thank you for listening to Radio Law Talk.
So talking again about the Yelp case. By the way, KPIX, Channel 5, CBS in the Bay Area did a great article on this and actually did a newscast I actually watched on it that was really cool. But the dissents were interesting, huh, Denise?
Yeah, there's dissents. Two of the justices dissented. Justice Goodwin Liu said the trial court ruling should be upheld because it didn't impose any financial liability against Yelp, but merely ordered the online review company to remove posts that were found by the lower court to be defamatory. So in other words, if the person that does defamation won't remove it, Yelp should. Right?
And that they said to send that back to the lower court for them to decide if that's the case.
No. Then the other justice, Mariano Florentino Queller, said Yelp could be subject to an order to remove the post, but only if it's found to have aided, abetted, or colluded with the person who provided the post. So that's why it should be sent back to the trial court to see whether or not Yelp aided or abetted. And let me just say, if an attorney challenges that post with Yelp and Yelp says, nope, we find it to be a valid consumer complaint, then that might be aiding, abetting, and what's needed.
Well, there's court cases that have held already before that there are algorithms, because someone sued on their algorithms saying that it's not fair that some posts are put up and some aren't. They've been held, Yelp won those cases also. But here's the interesting part that we discussed before. This comes down to an issue of a loophole. She still didn't answer the complaint. So what is going back down to the down to the federal court level, the main federal court level? What's going down there? She failed to answer the complaint, so therefore it's an automatic loss. That's what I don't get on a procedural issue. Why the court's saying go back down, the lower court, go ahead and bring these issues up and decide these issues.
Well, it's because the lower court couldn't decide those issues because Yelp didn't join until the appellate stage.
Okay,
so
I see what you're
I
saying.
think what they're saying is now we've got everybody in front of us and go back down a trial
Got
court.
it. Okay.
And doesn't it make common sense that a judge would say, look, if Yelp didn't originate this opinion in any way, why are we whacking them on the back of the hands with a ruler? They are merely a forum for quoting what someone says on their little Yelp.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what the
but
court
they have a
said.
challenge. They have a review process, and if that attorney had gone through that review process, then Yelp might be liable. Think about it. If that attorney said,
then you alert them, and then they've got
Yes.
to do their diligence. But
Right.
up to that point, how can you?
well, we don't know if those facts exist or not,
Yeah, that's a
and the
good
trial
point.
court never got to that issue.
That's why. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it is going back down to the trial court to see what's going to happen.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
What's the,
No, those are the
that's
two dissents.
You're right. That's the dissent.
It should have been that way. I kind of agree with the dissents on this one, just because I think it would make better law.
But here's the interesting thing, though, that Yelp doesn't have to do anything, but still she has to take it down according to the Supreme Court.
That's
right?
true.
Weird, and yet she hasn't. I don't know. Okay, all right, let's do it. Cal, can I get some points on case or no case this second hour? Can you just throw a softball? I mean, just throw like a lob.
All right, here we go. Get your
right.
slow pitch bat out. Here we go.
Now it's time to play Case or No Case.
I take you to the great state of New York City. The plaintiff, Helen Palsgraf, was waiting at the Long Island Railroad station, taking her daughter to the beach. Two men tried to board the train before her. Aided by railroad employees, they were carrying an, at the time, legal package of fireworks. The employees and the people carrying the package dropped it. It caused a large coin-operated scale to hit her. After the incident, she began to stammer and have some other physical effects, and afterwards subsequently sued the railroad, argued that its employees had been negligent while assisting the man, and that she had been harmed, in fact, by the neglect. And so I ask you, first off, case or no case, and what was the eventual outcome of this case? And I figure it's retort law. It's Fred Penny. It's a no-brainer.
Oh, that's too easy.
It's too easy.
You said a softball. What did I give you?
Okay.
A softball.
Well, that's the problem. That's what scares me. It's so easy. I don't
Well,
know.
anybody that went to law school knows this case.
All right. The answer is yes, it's case, and she wins. Go ahead, Denise.
Really? Not?
No, really.
Wait.
Okay, so
Denise
wait.
The answer's given.
Okay,
Denise, give your
go.
disclaimer
Go.
again. What did you say? You said
Go.
anybody who goes to law school. Go ahead.
Yes,
say it.
anybody that
That was
goes to law
easy.
school will know this case.
And- Yep.
So the point is
Will they know the outcome?
Yeah,
well, it's
she
a
wins.
causation issue.
No, they dropped it on the scale, which was the scale hit her. They were negligent in dropping the box on the scale, which they shouldn't have.
No, it was too remote.
I don't think so.
Paul's graph. This is Paul's
all
graph, right?
So
let's
Denise,
see, maybe.
I mean, I know this is a common case. It was a precedent-setting case. So case or no case, Denise?
I'm thinking she's winning.
I'm thinking that it is a case for sure, Paul's graph. We learned about this, and this is a tort case, just like you said.
Yep.
And the issue is when they put it on the scale, was it foreseeable that
I thought they dropped it on the scale.
Yeah.
When they dropped it on the
I think
scale,
they were weighing it, and they dropped it.
Yes.
And the scale tipped and got her.
Got it.
Yeah, was that foreseeable that she was going to get damaged by that? So by dropping this on the scale and the scale tipping and going down, was it foreseeable she was going to get hurt? And in my recollection of this is that it was too remote.
My thing, by the
So,
way,
she
it was
did not.
probably not properly set up the scale, nor nailed down or weighted down properly. That's what I'm assuming, all those facts. So go ahead. I still think I
Yeah,
win.
he probably does win this one, but that's what I'm
But
remembering.
no, I probably don't. Just 'cause
I
of my
got a
luck.
bad grade in tort, so that should make you feel good.
That's why you do family law.
No comment about my tort grade.
Fred, we're not going to talk about Fred's grades, although that is an area that he does a lot of work in. I wouldn't say special.
Well, you know what they say. The A students, they go out and they teach, right? The B students, well, they go out and they have fun and they maybe write articles.
I'm a B student.
The C students are the ones that practice law.
Oh, all right.
And I heard just the opposite. Those that can do and those that can't teach is
That's true. There's some truth to
That's
that.
a fairly common thing. So I'm not going to give you the answer now.
Oh, I want to.
Because we only have 30 seconds.
Mine's
on
too
that.
long. I think the problem is I think it's just a clear one to me. That means I'm wrong because I've been wrong all the time. So,
I just remember the issue was causation, and my professor didn't like
all right,
causation.
we're getting that 15-second wave, which we didn't do properly last time. We'll be right back. We're going to find out who wins, case or no case.
This is Radio Law Talk on your favorite radio station and, of course, on RadioLawTalk.com, including back episodes. All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk are for California legal services only.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at PennyandAssociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad. My name is Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I've assembled an excellent team of highly experienced personal injury trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. At Penny & Associates, we will aggressively represent you and your family when someone has been injured in an accident. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
For a free initial consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or call 1-800-616-4LAW and ask for Frederick, Stewart, Rob, Kevin, Kent, or Will. That's Frederick Penny at Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers, 1-800-616-4LAW.
Business needs growth to survive, and Accelerate You is in the business of growing your business. Accelerate You gets it. They have sales professionals, real top talent teams. Accelerate You has venture capitalists, and Accelerate You has strategic partners who roll up their sleeves and help you grow your business. It's what they do. They help people in business just like you. In fact, last year, Accelerate You launched 30 successful go-to markets for startup companies. With success like that, you can see why Accelerate You is able to only work with a select group of companies, perhaps yours. If you want to increase revenue for your business, call 916-BETTER-0. That's 916-237-7370. 916-BETTER-0. Come on, grab the phone. Make the call. Accelerate You. 916-BETTER-0. Again, call 916-BETTER-0 for Accelerate You.
This is Denise Sturks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help.
Looking for a full day of fun for the family? You can't beat spending your day or evening at Golfland Sunsplash in Roseville, the premier family entertainment destination for all of Northern California. Pick from one of 2 adventure-themed 18-hole mini golf courses, then get challenged on our fast car racetrack. Don't miss Golfland's state-of-the-art laser tag arena, laser nights, and over 200 arcade games. The best in family entertainment, now at Golfland Sunsplash in Roseville. Golfland.com.
My name is Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I've assembled an excellent team of highly experienced personal injury trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. At Penny & Associates, we will aggressively represent you and your family when someone has been injured in an accident. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
For a free initial consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or call 1-800-616-4LAW and ask for Frederick, Stewart, Rob, Kevin, Kent, or Will. That's Frederick Penny at Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers, 1-800-616-4LAW.
The cost of getting rid of garbage is high, and recycling products is lucrative. If you're a business or know of a business that needs an individual compactor or baler, call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. If you already have an industrial compactor, baler, or shredder and need service, don't forget to call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. Northwest Compacting, your full-service industrial compacting and baling company. Read more about them at northwestcompacting.com.
I knew I had a problem, but I didn't know what to do about it.
I tried counting calories, I took pills, eating, and then more eating.
I really wanted to stop, but nothing could make me stop.
At one point, it was so bad that I just felt like giving up.
I felt so alone.
Like nobody else could possibly understand.
We understand. We're Overeaters Anonymous, and we have helped thousands of people just like you. People who want to stop their compulsive eating and start living a healthy, rewarding life.
Overeaters Anonymous, help me get my life back.
Now I eat in a way that's healthy and good for me.
I never realized what I was missing out on.
With OA, I am living again and loving it.
Start living the life you deserve with help from Overeaters Anonymous. Find us on the web at oa.org.
Go to the website, radiolawtalk.com. You can listen to the show there, and there's a lot of other good information, too. That's radiolawtalk.com.
We're back, Cal. Am I right or wrong? Am I going to have egg on my face or not?
Well, it's a great question, and the answer is yes and no. I was talking to Seth about this because Denise is right. This was a really critical case in its time. What I didn't tell you is that this case was filed in 1927.
Oh my gosh!
That's when it's big stuff
because it's been law since then,
and it echoes forward to this day.
Yes.
So
it's a precedent that's stuck.
1927, in May of 1927.
Well, at least we got a point, Denise.
The woman with the case. So you each got a point because it's a case. In May of 1927, she obtained, the woman who had the scale fall on her, obtained a jury verdict for $6,000, which in 1927 was a lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
I won.
But.
Oh, no. What's the but part?
The railroad appealed.
Oh, we're not talking about appeals.
I asked the eventual outcome, right?
Yeah, it goes all the way up to the Supreme
And
Court.
Judge Cardoso wrote for a 4-3 majority of the Court of Appeals, ruling that there was no negligence because the employees in helping the man board did not have a duty of care. To Ms. Paulsgraf. I'm just telling you what they ruled.
I know.
Because the employees were just helping the man on board, and there was not any foreseeable harm for helping a man with a package.
I'm going to win that case all day long in California.
The original jury verdict was overturned, and the railroad won the case.
Denise, you're spanking us.
And you want to hear what's funny about that? I had my professor did not deal with duty and cause separately. He dealt with duty and cause together. So when I said it was a cause issue, I got it wrong because I didn't learn duty separately from cause.
I can't wait till 2018.
But I got it right ultimately.
The lawyer standing up there in 1929. Look, here's the. Okay, let me just back up. Here's the issue here, and this is modern day. Did a dangerous condition exist that they knew about or should have known about, and was it foreseeable? The answer is this scale sitting there was clearly not attached to the ground or to the wall properly, and therefore once they dropped it on it, it fell over, hitting someone. They're negligent. In California, I'm winning that case 75% of the time. Maybe 80.
And this was in New York in 1927, and in one case you would have won, and in the appeal,
yeah, I get it.
You would have lost.
Just
and
telling you, I would
and
have
that's the interesting thing about this.
You know what the most important thing is, though?
You got 2 points.
I'm 49. I'm 2 points away.
At least
from
I got
the lead.
1 point.
I'm 2
I
points
got
away
1
from the
point.
lead.
You have a chance to tie Mr. Cunin in our next case or no case.
That's right.
So,
oh my gosh! I get 1 point though, Cal. That puts me 1 point closer to.
Get you 1 point closer. Yes, you have 45 now, but Denise has 49. And Todd Cunin has 51.
That's like Alabama football playing a high school and losing. Well, that was me. I'm Alabama.
Eventually, you get into the third quarter, and you realize the other team is stretching the lead.
No.
And you're thinking, what can I do?
No, what happened is I won with the touchdown, but they called it back.
Exactly.
That's what happened. I'm Alabama.
Touchdown disallowed.
Speaking of Alabama and calling something back and losing, let's talk about Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. So he's got all these allegations against him, but there's a brand new indictment that just came down accusing him of sexually assaulting another victim. Now is coming forth.
So this is the third victim so far.
And this carries up to, it can be up to life in prison. Mm-hmm. So he now faces a minimum of 10 years behind bars. Minimum.
If he's found guilty.
If he's found guilty, yeah.
This is for predatory sexual assault. It's not just merely sexual assault. It's predatory, meaning you're a predator.
Yeah. Now don't forget, this is alleged from a July 19, 2006 attack on a victim. But this is what I really want to bring up, and I want to keep. I'm so happy. I was thinking, should I bring this up because we're on the air and we have to be careful what we say. I know Rodriguez is not here, so I think we can temper ourselves. But this is very important. And a person brought this up when I was talking about the Weinstein case and the issues. And this is not, again, we're not political, but I had a woman clearly ask this question and look at me about this. And she said, quote, because this comes down to one of the cases that he's being previously charged with is forcing oral sex on a person. And that's... what do you think the question this lady asked me was?
How do you do that?
How do you force oral
How do you
sex?
force it? Well, it depends on who's the recipient.
Hey, do we have any cricket? Can we have crickets? Do we have crickets? Find the crickets.
I do have crickets. I was going to put that up, but I think the issue here is not a physical forcing as much as an emotional coercing and forcing. Is it not? Did I read that whole thing wrong?
But are you liable for that? Is that a criminal? And we don't have Todd Cunin here for the criminal lawyer, but is that a criminal act?
It's unwanted touching.
There's unwanted, but
yes.
But according to this, again, it was a lady said, how can you be forced to have oral sex? That's what she's like. I guess you can. I guess you can.
Well, I'm not going to describe it very much on the air because I don't think that it's appropriate.
I guess you could. You're right.
I think it's both ways. You can be forced both ways.
Okay.
It's either to do it or to receive it.
So I guess
and not want to do either.
Yeah, there has been a lawsuit filed of a young man who claims that he was forced into sexual activity, and you would think, with certain biological processes that had to take place, how is that possible?
Well, you know how that's possible? I've actually done research on that.
If they're drunk or something?
Well, no, not just that. It's an involuntary reaction.
Of course.
It's involuntary reaction. It does not mean that it's consent.
Right, it wasn't a choice, right.
No, I don't disagree with that. I'm just wondering, I think a normal person just says, okay, how does that happen? And so, but these lawsuits are coming down, and so this is an additional third one coming down on Harvey Weinstein that is just piling up again. A lot of people, sometimes when it rains, it pours, but this guy was very well known in the day. And let me tell you something interesting. So I love watching old movies and old things. And one of my favorite was Johnny Carson. I liked watching the Johnny Carson.
I love Johnny.
But what I used to watch, and I still go back and watch on YouTube, is the Kraft roasting by Dean Martin. What do they call it? The what roast? The
celebrity roast.
The celebrity roast by Dean Martin.
Hilarious.
And it had Bob Hope, and it has all the, and always Dean Martin. They're making fun of him as a drunk. Hey, Dean, what's going on? And Dean would always be hosting it usually, and he was soused a lot. But anyway, they were talking about. It was Bob Hope or someone. I was watching it, and they're going, and he was ripping on. Oh no, it was Don Rickles. It was Don Rickles.
Don Rickles
he was hilarious, and he's ripping on everybody, and he's roasting everyone, and he turns down. Yeah, how about this young producers down here sitting down here? What are you doing here? How did you get up front? What's your name? Alan Weinstein? What's your name? Weinstein or something like that? Oh. And that was on this celebrity roast from like the 1970s or whatever.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, and that was on YouTube, and I was like,
were they roasting Johnny Carson?
They're roasting someone, but but you know how Don Rickles points at people in the audience, and it was Weinstein that was sitting in front somehow, and he turned to him like, who are you some young punk producer? Who do you think you are? And that was very interesting. I said, kind of. Like deja vu, but anyway, go ahead. It was YouTube, and it's on the Celebrity Roast. It's put on by Kraft. But anyway, judges toss a lawsuit against Toyota over rats gnawing on a car wiring. And I told you what I'm going to do is give you some interesting facts about this. Now, we've all know. I don't know if a lot of you are listening, but I've had issues with mice chewing on my wires. Now, apparently, what's happened is they've changed from a wiring that is kind of more petroleum based. Now it's soybean based, and obviously,
they're trying to do that to be green and be more conscious of the environment and all of that. But the side effect of that is that they are now attractive to rodents.
That's exactly right. Toyota's argument is, by the way, it's not just us. It's industry wide. They're doing this, so we're not liable for this. So the judge throws the lawsuit out against Toyota. We're going to go over why. But here's an interesting thing. So I have a ranch in the mountains, and I was up at the ranch, and this was probably about a month ago. And I look at all the tractors. We have mini excavators. We have tractors. And the Wrangler is walking by. I notice all the hoods and all the fairing is all turned up and open. Everything's open. I'm like, why do you have all this open? And that's a huge barn. And he said, to keep the mice out and the rats from chewing the wires. I said, what? He goes, that's exactly right. You keep you keep the engine like open and all the fairing open, everything, you open it up.
And they won't go in.
Because it's not dark and nice. But plus, guess what the best part was? You look up above in our barn, there's an owl sitting up there. And so, because the owl is there and he keeps it open, he's never had a problem with mice or rats. And don't forget, this is a massive barn with hay. And it's out in the middle of the country, and it's in the field. There's mice and rats running around, just naturally not having any problems with it.
So this suit that was brought, it was based on what was the underlying?
Well, the underlying thing is you're chewing it up, and it should be under warranty. Toyota says it's not a warranted item, and then we'll talk about that when we come back. We'll be right back with Radio Law Talk.
Listening to Radio Law Talk on radiolawtalk.com and on your favorite radio station, and we thank you and them.
All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk are for California legal services only.
Jason Rosbach here with Fred Penny, managing attorney from Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Now, Fred, what type of cases are you dealing with now, and what sets you apart?
Jason, we help people with all types of personal injury cases. We're former insurance company trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or give them a call, 1-800-616-4LAW. That's PENNEY lawyers.com.
This is Denise Sturks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help. Business needs growth to survive, and Accelerate You is in the business of growing your business. Accelerate You gets it. They have sales professionals, real top talent teams. Accelerate You has venture capitalists, and Accelerate You has strategic partners who roll up their sleeves and help you grow your business. It's what they do. They help people in business just like you. In fact, last year, Accelerate You launched 30 successful go-to markets for startup companies. With success like that, you can see why Accelerate You is able to only work with a select group of companies, perhaps yours. If you want to increase revenue for your business, call 916-BETTER-0. That's 916-237-7370. 916-BETTER-0. Come on, grab the phone. Make the call. Accelerate You. 916-BETTER-0. Again, call 916-BETTER-0 for Accelerate You.
The following announcement brought to you by SacramentoLawyer.com. Finding the right lawyer for your particular needs can be confusing. With all the commercials and listings, and who's to say whether the lawyers there are even any good at what they do. So when you're looking for a lawyer, it makes sense to find someone local with the experience and expertise in that area of the law where you have a need. That's why there is SacramentoLawyer.com. SacramentoLawyer.com. At SacramentoLawyer.com, you just browse the site, free, and see the Facebook reviews on the firms you're considering with just a simple mouse click. That way you learn a little bit more about the lawyers there before you start making this critical decision. And there's no pressure. Use the right tool to find the lawyer that's best for you by going to SacramentoLawyer.com. SacramentoLawyer.com. That's SacramentoLawyer.com.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at PennyandAssociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
I've got to get my car washed. This dirt, it just won't do. But I don't have no time today. I don't know what I do.
Man, I know this place right down the road. Quick Quack Car Wash. Hop inside, let's take a ride and watch this cat and shine. Just come and see, I guarantee your ride will steal the show. Come on, Quick Quack Car Wash. Don't drive that dirty car. Quick Quack Car Wash. They'll have you looking sharp. Come on.
Now back to Radio Law Talk with Denise Dirks and host Fred Penny.
So the Toyota case, what it was a motion to dismiss by Toyota. They brought this motion to dismiss, Denise, and they basically said, and a motion to dismiss in California, in a state court, it's called a demur. It's very similar, where basically they failed to state a cause of action. So what the court said is you did not even state a cause of action. This is like not even getting up to the plate, basically. You get up to the plate, you strike out.
And this was after 5 different leaves to amend. When
4. I think there was 4 in the 5th they said no. Or maybe 4 or 5.
Okay. Well, 5 is
what I fifth attempt. This was the 5th attempt.
Yeah, the 5th attempt. And so what happens in California is that you have to plead certain causes of action with very specific facts, and fraud is one of those. And so the judge said the fraud and the consumer protection claims did not plead facts that would state a cause of action even after their 5th try.
Right. And then they argued, too, an express warranty and implied warranty. The express warranty, the court said they failed on because it doesn't, in the warranty doesn't say that's covered. In other words, in the Toyota's warranty, that's not covered.
Chewing up the wires is not covered.
But the implied warranty claims were also dismissed because, quote, they failed to allege that Toyota sold the vehicles that were unfit to be driven. And then top of that, Toyota argues that the rodent damage to vehicles wiring occurs across the whole industry, not just them.
Would you not go after the people that insisted that those wires be changed if that was done as a result of a legal claim? Let's say the Cal Hunter Environmental Foundation goes after Toyota and says, you're using plastic in those wires that doesn't biodegrade, so we're going to sue you if you don't fix it.
Well, it could be the California EPA, right?
Well, if somebody insisted they change it, and there's a rule of, is there a law of unintended consequences?
Cal, you asked a great question. Can you bring a lawsuit? The answer is yes.
Case or case.
I think Oreo cookies need more white filling. I'm going to sue them. Yes, I can do that. So the answer is you can bring a lawsuit for everything, but whether or not it'll be thrown out or not, I don't know, Cal. But that's an interesting question. That is a good question.
But who ultimately is responsible for the rodents getting into the car and getting into the wiring? Isn't that the consumer himself?
The rodents.
Yeah.
Well,
rats are rats. They do what they do.
Well, they do, but you have an idea about whether or not you have rats in your garage, or you get a cat and put a cat underneath the lid.
You're assuming everyone has garages too. So a lot of people that can't park in their garage. But here's the other thing that's interesting. So when I had that problem with my car, and I went into the dealer, you know what they told me? Put those little rat poison cubes in your engine compartment. They told me that. I was like, really? They said, yeah, really. And I was like, oh. So for some reason, as weird as it sounded, it was only one of my cars. And I'm knock on wood, because hopefully none of the other ones. But I have not had a problem with any of my other cars. It's the same garage, same place, same issue. It was one specific car. Somehow these mice loved it, and they were just
Well, you should find out whether or not they had soy wiring.
Well, I'm not having a problem with it, so I'm not going to worry about it.
And I think many times you don't realize you've got a rodent infestation problem until you wake up and they've already done their damage, right?
Well, that's true. I live on the wetlands, so I have field mice.
Sure.
That's something that just
is there. But to repair that involves taking out the entire dashboard and everything all the way back to the front seats. I mean, everything has to come out. It is a nightmare job.
All I got to say is
that would be very costly to recall.
Super expensive.
Saturday Night Live does a skit on these ladies on the air, and they talk about rodent problem. Remember that, Seth? I can't remember it's the oh god. Those of you who are listening probably know. But anyway, go to Saturday Night Live. These two radio hosts are talking, and I go, oh, what did you do for Christmas? Did you put out some goodies for Santa? No, I have a rat-infested problem in my apartment, and that's pretty funny. So anyway, that reminded me of that. So The Hill is talking about the court siding with a Muslim comic lawsuit against a neo-Nazi. Now again, everything, and this is coming from The Hill, which is an article that they wrote. Everything isn't what basically the headlines say. So the headlines are court sides with Muslim comic lawsuit against a neo-Nazi. Now, between you and I don't know about either of these people. I don't listen to them. I don't know them. I don't know. Apparently, this individual that sued, he's a comedian and a very liberal commentator named Dean Obadanilaha. I don't know. But then a guy by the name of Obadallah. Sounds good. But he sued Andrew Anglin, who was a neo-Nazi, according to this. I don't know that he is or isn't, and an extreme right-wing person. And apparently he's claiming that, as Dean is claiming, that Anglin was disparaging him.
Yeah,
and
posted on the website that he was a terrorist.
Or not a terrorist, but caused terrorist response. That he's partially responsible for the concert in Manchester, England, where people got attacked by terrorists. But here's the point. So the whole thing is, I thought, wow, there's free speech issues here. And this is a really good free speech discussion case about a Muslim and a neo-Nazi fighting each other. But guess what? It's always something that's not written in the headlines. Those of you out there, 855 Law Radio, do you know what it is? No? Think if you do. Let's not say. Let's move on to something else. I'm going to see if someone tweets us at Radio Law Talk or calls us at 855 Law Radio. This is not a political thing, but what is the main thing that happened here that was not said in the headlines? Let's just go to you, Cal. Did you read it? You didn't read it. Did you?
I didn't read the case. Are you saying the case was thrown out, or was it?
No. He won. The Muslim comic won the lawsuit.
How can he win?
Exactly. So how can he win?
How can a guy win in a matter of somebody stating an opinion about somebody's?
No, but then he's being called a terrorist. It is that he's being called a terrorist.
But here's the thing. That's
exactly right. Truth may be a defense.
Truth, and he's a public figure, too. So that's another issue. This guy is a public figure because he's a commentator, he's a comedian, and he's out in the public eye. So what is it that...
Oh, yeah, he has a show on
Yeah,
Sirius.
he's got shows.
Yeah.
So he's a public person. So he's going to be... He's able to be, I guess the word disparaged a little more.
You can make fun of people in the public eye as long as you don't do anything to cause them economic harm,
that's
right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the answer. Well,
there's a couple of
reputational and economic harm. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what do you think, Cal? You don't know. Does Seth? Do you have any idea? I know you didn't read it.
I would.
You just held the 3 minute up.
I would think the public figure defense would be a major one to me.
I agree.
You know,
that's a
would
good
be
defense.
my thinking. I would jump on that. And
but he lost. But they lost.
Well, I don't think they've lost yet.
Well, the neo-Nazi did lose. Okay, let me tell you why. The answer is he never answered the complaint. I got you on a case or no case, man. I won.
Well, wait a second.
He did not answer the complaint, and so therefore he won.
Well, no, he didn't.
Okay, what happened?
Because he sought unspecified damages in the lawsuit, but no hearing date has been set to determine the amount. So he only took the default.
Right, he took the default. So he lost. He didn't know how much he's lost.
Right.
But he took the default. So the answer is the neo-Nazi guy never hired a lawyer, apparently, or never answered the complaint, and he won automatically. So if you don't answer your complaint, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to lose.
Well, in this case, too, they couldn't find Anglin. So what they did was they exhausted every single way that they could possibly find him. It tried to serve him at all these addresses, tried to serve him, 5 Ohio addresses, and calling past attorneys and try to locate him. Finally, they published in a local newspaper.
Which is what you do legally.
Right, and then that is deemed to be valid service.
How fascinating is that nobody reads the newspaper anymore by comparison, and yet it's still used as that law's got to catch up with reality because newspaper circulations are so down. It would seem to me that you'd have to have a different means of posting than the newspaper. What is it now?
Well, in California at least, you can post at the courthouse like a notice, or you can publish in the newspaper. Whatever is more likely going to give the defendant notice.
Or more importantly, you can stand on a freeway overpass and hold a sign. That's one way I can do it. Seth Madden, I'm suing you. You haven't answered the complaint. I'm going to stand up there for hours on that.
You have 30 days to answer.
30 days. I think that should be the new rule.
I mean, foreclosures, anything like that, they still post them in the paper, and I don't understand that. I mean, who's going to see it there?
Well, let's post them in the yellow pages from now on. Now, that's a better way.
Same thing, right?
But anyway, so that's interesting. All I say is I saw this. I'm like, this is great stuff to talk about. This is going to be right up our alley because it's a big controversial issue whether or not they can discuss. And I said, you know what? Let's do this. I'm like, wait a minute. They didn't answer. Of course he won. So there we go. So we're going to talk more when we get back. We're at the top of the hour. We've got a lot of things to talk about after the top of the hour. We're going to talk about blenders, pork, American Express case, and more importantly, we're going to talk about the union case. That's a big thing.
To the Supreme Court. It's really important.
We're getting to it this time because last time we didn't get to it, and it's important.
We're getting to good stuff because not all the guys are here.
And another case or no case coming up.
Case or no case. All right, give me points. We'll be right back after this. Don't go to sleep.
Stay with us.
You have been listening to RadioLawTalk.com, a copyrighted presentation of Radio Law Talk Incorporated.